adamant there is no reason for Liverpool to worry, despite the 100% start to their Premier League title defense being destroyed by a miserable performance at Crystal Palace. The Reds slumped to a deserved 2-1 loss at the unbeaten Londoners on Saturday afternoon after posting an alarmingly below-par display, particularly during a one-sided first half in which Palace merited more than Ismaila Sarr's early opener. Substitute Federico Chiesa had appeared to earn Arne Slot's side an unlikely point with an 87th-minute equalizer before Palace sub Eddie Nketiah struck the winner deep into additional time. Liverpool have yet to consistently hit the heights this season as a raft of summer signings continue to adjust in a new-look team that has been reliant on several late goals to earn points. And after only a fifth Premier League defeat in 44 games under Slot, Reds skipper Van Dijk has warned against overreacting as a testing week on the road continues with a Champions League clash at Galatasaray on Tuesday evening. "The biggest challenge now is to stay calm," he said. "I have mentioned it many times. Never get too high or too low. Just work and don't listen to the outside world too much. You know when you can do better, and everyone knew that. We are disappointed in our performance, disappointed in the loss, but especially the way we went about it. I think if we got a draw, then we took already 1 point too many. I don't think there is any reason to worry, but we have to improve pretty quickly because obviously we play in Turkey on Tuesday. We have a very difficult game there as well, so we have to be ready." Sarr's goal was the first time Liverpool had been behind this season and set the tone for a poor defensive display in which the visitors were indebted to a string of fine saves from goalkeeper Alisson Becker to keep them in the game before half-time. And Van Dijk explained, "It was the basics that we didn't do well. Sometimes you can have these days. Hopefully this is the only day this season that we do that. There is a reason Palace were 17, now 18 games unbeaten. They are very difficult to break down, very disciplined. They defend deep and they don't mind that, and they have the quality on the break to hurt you. But it started all with ourselves. We were sloppy in possession, didn't win our second ball fight, and we created momentum for them. They could have been 3 or 4 up by half-time. We are lucky that we have, in my opinion, the best goalkeeper in the world to save us," Van Dijk added. "The issue is our performance. Especially first half, it was far below par. That is something we have to improve. It doesn't really matter if we score late because sometimes teams are difficult to break down and you have to find a way to win games. Towards the end, teams are getting tired and the spaces will get bigger, so that's not the issue. It is more looking at our performance. It was definitely not good at all." Palace deserved the win they eventually got as well. Slot dropped a surprise by starting with £116 million summer signing Florian Wirtz in a free role before returning the Germany international to a more accustomed number 10 role after the interval. And when asked if Liverpool's issues were more individual than tactical at Selhurst Park, Van Dijk responded, "100%. If you look at the first half, everybody has to improve. Obviously Ali saved us, so I don't think he could have done more. But second half, we went back to what we are used to doing throughout the season. First half, Flo had a bit of a free roll, and we tried to make it difficult for their defenders to push up and find space in behind, but they didn't mind sitting deep and using their strength, and that is obviously the counter-attack in the set pieces because they scored 2 set pieces as well. It's early days and I'm not going after him, but I'm concerned by his performance because it's not been good. And he was not alone in his assessment of Slot's decision to alter the role of his new number 7. Speaking on beIN Sports, former Red Jason McAteer said, "The Wirtz issue is one I think he needs to take accountability for. If you look at the last 2 games, I understand him taking Wirtz out the team against Everton because the fixture, the way Everton play, the physicality. But Crystal Palace is in the same vein as that game. We've seen that in the Community Shield when he was really non-existent, Wirtz. He didn't do a lot and that game was not suited for Wirtz. Now unfortunately for Slot, it's come back to back. I feel like he was kind of forced into playing him, because if you don't play him in 2 games in a row, it's a story, isn't it? A narrative starts to come about. So he has to play him, but that game was absolutely suited to Gakpo, running up and down the line, getting over, being physical, height in the box for set pieces. He didn't play Gakpo, he's gone and played Wirtz, who doesn't like that kind of opposition and challenge. He doesn't. It's upset the balance of the team. Furthermore, Craig Burley for ESPN FC commented, "Well, if you're going to play him on the left, then you might as well not play him. That's your mindset. How can I squeeze him in? Then you're weakening the team because he's better in the number 10 role, although he's not been great. That is his position. You put him out in the wider area, and all of a sudden you've got a player who's not great defensively on the left-hand side, and a left-back who's just signed, who's struggling. That doesn't make any sense. You have to give Florian the best chance to succeed, and that's in the best position. His best position is a number 10, and you've got to give some protection to a young left-back who is at the moment finding it difficult to keep his head above water, and playing a playmaker on the left-hand side against better teams is not the answer." And Michael Dawson, covering the match on Sky Sports' Soccer Saturday, is a 4th pundit to have weighed in on the debate. This was against a Liverpool team who'd won 5 out of 5, and people are saying they're not quite at the level we would expect, and I would agree with that. The ex-Premier League defender explained, "I mean, his team selection slot would be questionable in my opinion. No Gakpo on the left in the first half, It was so narrow. Florian Wirtz, unfortunately, at this moment in time hasn't got to the level that we expected, and I'm a big fan. He cost an awful lot of money. He's still very, very young, and we know how demanding the Premier League can be. But it was just the fact that when I saw the team sheet and there was no Gakpo, they were so tight, it was so compact, and it was pretty easy for Crystal Palace to get down that right-hand side under Munoz.